real quick, and Tim, you can chime in if you want to. But I saw a video of, and I never heard of her before this video, right? But I saw this video of this young lady, and her name was Candace Owens, and she said she went off on how she doesn't support George Floyd, whatever, and she's talking about how he wasn't a martyr, he was a criminal, he was a thug, and then she went on to say that black people, when things like this happen, we glorify criminals, which is the dumbest shit that I've heard all week. One, black people don't glorify criminals. Like, if you broke the law, then you're gonna live with consequences, whatever. It's like, we understand that. However, what we don't understand is like being killed at the hands of the police for no reason. Like, that's why this whole shit started, whatever. It's just like we're not saying, he was a criminal, whatever, so you should let him go. Like, nobody said that, Candace. Like, we're in an uproar because he was killed by the police for no reason when he was already handcuffed and the officer's knee was on his neck. And then things like this keep happening where people are unarmed, doing nothing. Like, whether they broke the law or not, we're not even talking about them breaking the law. We're talking about them being killed for no reason. That's what this whole movement is about. So I don't know where you're getting your facts from, but you sound stupid. You tell me what you want to say.
Personally, I don't give energy to people like Candace Owens. They're like low on my list of concerns, even though I do know they have an audience, especially of white people who use her as a reason to, basically support their views, their racist views or whatever. But one thing I did find interesting, I came across a video of hers on Facebook. White people were commenting and they were against her. But they were saying like borderline racist things
to her.
That it was either racist or sexist. It was like a combination of racism and sexism. It was like, get this bitch out of here. Yeah. And it was just like, they were making comments about her race that were not their place to say.
Right.
It was racially tinged. But they were on our side. They were saying she's racist, but they were using racially tinged and sexist language to put her down. I thought that was interesting.
I'm not condoning that. But, like, for real, like, it sounds like I don't know what she's watching or how she grew up or, like, what her views are or whatever, but it's like, she needs a wake-up call or something. Like, she's the type of person.
Wake-up call? She's in her 30s.
She might be a late bloomer. Like, whatever it is. Like, me and you, like, we grew up around all white people. For the most part. Like I wasn't around black people until I went to college. And I don't even comprehend how
that's how easy it is.
How she thinks like that, though.
It's seductive to think that way because that's like the ideology of power. And obviously she's had connections to white people for a long time. And she's kind of used that, I think, as a social capital. You can move really quickly in your political career if you choose that route. Yeah.
If you're a Republican?
Yeah, and they'll tell you that. They're like, if you want to go far quickly, come be a Republican.
So she's the token black girl, and
and there's many.
And for her colleagues.
There are many, okay. And they probably love her.
Yeah.
I only get a glimpse of that world when I go online. And I read the stuff that they write, and they're not bashing her because she's black saying it. They're like, thank you, you're such a good woman. Thank you.
Like, she's in the same boat as a Terrence K. Williams. Like these both of them support Trump. Why, I have no idea. when you can see like the dumb shit that he says, like he just sounds dumb, and they sound dumb too for wanting to support this guy, but that both of them are the type of people that if they got pulled over by the police and it was obviously for race, they will be the ones to say, oh, he was just doing his job. It's like,
Yep.
Like he literally just said.
There's always gonna be people like that.
So, yeah, but you're right. She's in her 30s, whatever. She's probably a lost cause now. We probably just gotta charge up to the game. Charge her to the game. I don't know what that means. I just felt like saying it. But
I know what it means. It's actually perfect. Ignore her. But move on. It's the ideology behind her that concerns me.
Yeah.
The fact that there are masses of people who believe everything she's saying.
but they're all white people though.
Mostly white people.
Like how can you listen to her and just think that?
I came across a video of Diamond and Silk on YouTube. I was watching something really dumb. Sometimes I go down rabbit holes on YouTube that I have no business going down. And you could tell they were catering the commercials for dumbass. I'm sorry, but like black people who aren't really thinking.
Yeah.
So it's Diamond and Silk, and like they were like a cartoon. The way they were acting, even like the way they presented themselves. Like, if you want to talk to dope, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, vote for Donald Trump. Cause it was like blackface. It was like a minstrel. It was very minstrel-ish. And the fact that I just don't understand how they could find people like that. I just can't believe people exist like that. Like,
It'll just sell out like that.
every spectrum of crazy exists in the world. It's just a reminder of that, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't know, like just I feel like even being in that and like all the people that we grew up with, right? Like all the black people that lived in Midland. Like I don't think any of them think like that though. I don't think anyone does.
Not that extreme.
Yeah, like not that extreme, and they're not gonna be that vocal about it, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Like I feel like when things like this happen, like people like her and Terrence K. Williams, like they focus on the wrong thing of what, like if a video was put out, oh my goodness, he was a criminal. Like what are you talking about right now? It's like that, like that's not what we're talking about. Like no one said anything about him being a criminal. Like if he's a criminal, yeah, obviously he was about to go to jail because the cops were called on him. And then what Terrence said was in the video where Central Park Karen called the police on the bird watcher. The only thing he said about the video was, I can't believe that she would treat her dog that way.
Yeah.
Like that's not the point of the video. What are you looking at?
That shows how much. That shows that you can have a white perspective. You can have a white mind, and I think it's actually the default because of our culture. Like that's how we initially see the world, and it can grow, or you can starve it and go the other direction. But yeah, I'm not surprised.
And especially like them just being black though, I'm sure they've experienced racism.
I'm sure they saw it as an isolated incident.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
If they did.
But I'm sure they experienced racism.
Because the most insidious racism that you can experience is the kind where you're not even sure. I think a lot of times, if someone's being racist towards you, sometimes you don't know. It's not always like nigger. It's not always in your face.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's like subtle ignoring, subtle exclusion.
But even so, it's like, so whether if that's the case or not with them, I just feel like stuff that's going on is very blatant. It's like you can see the video, whatever. It's like you don't have to be there. You can just watch what's going on.
What white people are thinking is, oh, what are they not showing us in the video? He was probably being violent, you know.
Like
he's got a record. He has a record of selling cocaine. He's a bad person, you know.
It's like we're not like, and then But like we're not. Like, and I don't know why they do that or whatever. It's like that's not what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about. We're talking about what's going on right now. We're not talking about he sold cocaine.
When you're
before.
black, you don't get a trial. It's like you do something and the police react to it. You deserved it.
And then it's like, oh well, I can see why the police killed him because he dealt drugs.
Yeah.
Like that.
People think like that, and that's racism.
Yeah, people.
Because they wouldn't apply that same standard to someone else.
Right. Like.
And then, like, comparing Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
Where he murdered a church of people.
Yeah.
And they picked him up and let him get a hamburger. You remember that?
Yeah. There was another video where somebody next to him, somebody put a meme up of he killed 9 people or whatever it was, and there was another white guy that killed a certain amount of people, and they both were standing up or whatever, and like the police walked them to the car or whatever, and then where is George Floyd and other people, like there was George Floyd and somebody else. I can't remember the other person that was in the other picture, but George Floyd is on the ground, and I don't think he was resisting.
I haven't watched it.
I don't think he was resisting, but what I don't get is like the police officer. I saw part of the tape, but the police officer was on his neck, whatever, and there was a black dude and a white guy. I mean, there was a black dude and a white lady saying, get off his neck, whatever. Like he's not even moving right now. Like why he's on his neck?
And if you notice, the people that put him in the ambulance were the police. Police got out of the ambulance. So they knew he was dead, and that ain't the first time they've done that. That looked like a procedure. The ambulance did not pick him up. Police did. They were uniformed police with gloves on.
And they picked him up.
Picked him up and put him in the ambulance. And I'm pretty sure they knew he was dead at that point.
Yeah.
They didn't care. Yep. It's time to change.
Yep.
And we're waking up. There are a lot of things that we do as a culture that are outdated. I'm constantly reassessing and wondering, like.
Are you talking about black people, or are you talking about like America?
Mainstream, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
The school system's probably outdated.
Yeah, I think the whole like the justice system is definitely outdated.
Not only outdated, but corrupt.
Yeah, very corrupt, and like things take too long to happen in legally. It takes a long time to pass a new piece of legislation. And then and then legislation, it has to go through so many people, and then if one person says, "Oh no, I don't agree with that," then it's like you start over again. But did you go to the Black Lives Matter rally?
I just got back today.
You did? Okay. Were there a lot of people out there when you went?
Somewhat. It wasn't rowdy or anything, but I did see some stuff, and I posted pictures of it that got burnt. Like, I was like, first I walked right past it, I thought it was like art or something, but they were actually, I believe, like restaurant tables, and they were fried.
For real?
Yeah. And then the fence to the White House, I saw that today, but I didn't even know it was the fence in front of the White House. They covered it with all these different posters saying all this like radical stuff.
Yeah. I think that I was telling my friend this, that basically Muriel putting painting Black Lives Matter on the street and then naming it Black Lives Matter Boulevard.
Yeah.
Like that was basically saying Trump, fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the whole city was like yeah, hell yeah.
But people are criticizing that, saying that they want to see policy that aligns with that.
Yeah.
Performance, like.
Right. I mean,
be like,
okay,
but how does this translate to real life?
But it still takes a long time for policy to change.
We'll see. Not necessarily. You see how quick Trump is like censoring Facebook?
Yeah.
Or social media? What else has he done that's just like a dictator? Oh, did you hear about you didn't hear about this because you haven't been watching the news. Maybe you saw it on Facebook. But there's these uniformed men patrolling DC, and they're not the police, and they're basically, Russia does the same thing.
Like they're undercover?
In a way. No one knows, but it's like an example of fascism that has been seen before, not even that long ago. Like you just can't have, if it's not the FBI, it's not the police, who are they? That is wild. And he's censoring social media? Dictator!
Bro, and he's probably censoring social media because he doesn't want all this footage to get out.
And the fact that Mark Zuckerberg, did you hear about that?
Like,
Mark Zuckerberg said it's not social media's place to filter fake news. Yeah. It's not social media's place to stay out, to be involved in politics. Yeah. So at first, Facebook was left-leaning. They were pulling a lot of articles that were biased and lies and racist and fucked up. But so now, Trump convinced him not to do that. He had a meeting with Trump, and now he's like, I gotta get off Facebook. Like, yeah, I certainly don't trust Mark Zuckerberg anymore. Not that I ever did, but that
I heard, is kind of. I saw an article where some of his employees got up and walked out or something like that.
Yes, yeah. So his employees, I think, wrote about it. Like the fact that Facebook employees would be up in arms about it. At first, I thought it would just be us.
Yeah.
But man, this is like a science fiction story. It really is.
Yeah,
this is a story.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
But in lighter news, I wanted to just touch on real quick that I'm surprised that Midland, where we grew up, had a Black Lives Matter rally. I guess for lack of a better term, whatever. It's like they were protesting. There had to be at least. I saw somebody put on Facebook. There were at least probably 3,000 people out there.
Really?
Yeah, somebody said like 3,000.
And also, me and Roger just turned on the video before we started recording, and they weren't just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like
they were passionate.
Yeah, they were chanting and everything. And when I tell you, like, we went to Midland, Michigan, was very white. Like there was a handful of black people there.
Have you ever heard of a white enclave?
No.
Midland was a white enclave, so they're everywhere. It's basically like at some point there were majority white people in Saginaw. And when black people started coming in, they moved out to enclaves like Midland. Okay. So that's why Midland was able to keep such a high percentage of white people. It was like a safe place for them. Now, how they went about doing that is interesting. I'm not quite sure, but I think a lot of it has to do with real estate. So my grandfather tried to buy a house in Midland at one point, maybe like in the 70s or something, and they wouldn't lend him.
Really?
Oh, no. And it was very clear that it was about racism. But my dad didn't have any issues getting a house, and I think it's because he went to like a military college or something like that. Like my dad presents differently than my grandfather. My grandfather was like real country black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my dad is like Brian Gumble.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, we'll take your kind. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. Yeah, Midland is a white enclave.
Yeah, like so, and then just to give you guys some perspective, it's like there were less than 1% of black people in Midland, like less than 1%. So just the fact that, like it didn't even register in my head that
it was normal
that they would protest. At all.
I was curious to know. I didn't think they would. And I still am friends with a lot of people from Midland who are crickets, not saying anything.
Yeah.
Still haven't said anything.
I mean, because it's almost like people don't know what to say. Like, but you really.
But come on, like.
I know.
Like this thing I just posted. Why is racism a debate?
Yeah.
Why is ending racism a debate? If you don't know what to say, it's probably because you're racist.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, actually. And I might have to write that down too. Like, why is racism a debate?
That's why they're uncomfortable, because they're like, but I don't believe that they're equal. I don't know.
And then I heard this lady on the radio say something about like basically everything black people learned from white people. Or I mean, basically everything black people learned was from white people.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to think of the examples that she used, whatever.
Well, yeah,
like,
history is taught from their perspective because they wrote it.
Yeah, like killing and.
And we were in a position to speak out and alter.
So, but I wanted to take that even a step further. Even say it's like I know some white people will say that black people are racist, but we learned that from them though. Right? So, and then I just say that to say is like when I got in that argument last week or 2 weeks ago on Facebook, like the guy that I was debating with called me racist.
Why? Because you were talking about racism?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Like, I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? It was like you, and I said, you defending racism as being racist. Like, you can obviously, like, you even said yourself, yeah, that lady was completely wrong. Roger,
you do not have to interact with these people.
No, you're right, but I mean, I was bored and so it was something. Fair enough. Yeah. But and then this guy, he only comments on my stuff if it's like political. Like anything else I post on Facebook, which I don't post a lot, but anything else that I post, he has nothing to say. But all of a sudden he feels the need, like if I mention Trump, say something about Trump, whatever, he feels the need to comment now. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Midland is Republican, right? It's very Republican.
Very.
So which I don't. It doesn't make sense why there were so many people out there that were protesting to me.
That's a good point, but not everybody was Republican.
Yeah.
But I think some Republican people might have gotten turned out. We'll see.
I mean, probably. I mean, there's 3,000 people out there.
That's a good question to ask somebody. Like, do you think the majority of people that were out there were Republican? I'm gonna ask Derek because he was there.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Should ask him.